You know the names: Roosevelt, Astor, Forbes, Yale, Harvard. You've seen the buildings, read the books, voted for the legacies. But what if I told you the wealth that built their power came from selling hard drugs? Not rumors, not theories. Verified history buried for 200 years. In the early 1800s, America wasn't the superpower we know today. It was a growing nation, hungry for wealth and global influence. And some of the most powerful American families figured out how to get very rich, very fast, by flooding China with the opium, a dangerous, highly addictive narcotic grown in India by the British, smuggled into China by American traders, where it was illegal, where it was poison, but it earned up to 400% profit. And that was all these people needed to dive in, head first. Families like the Roosevelts, the Astors, the Forbes, the Perkins, they weren't just in the opium business, they helped him run. Let's start at the top. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. FDR, the man who led America through the Great Depression, fought Hitler. Built the New Deal, an American hero, right? But here's what no one tells you. The money that paid for his education, his political career, his presidential launch, came from drug money. His grandfather, Theodore Warren Delano II, was one of the biggest opium smugglers in China. He worked for Russell and Company, the most powerful American drug trafficking firm in Asia. He went to China at age 24, made a fortune at smuggling opium, came back, lost it, then went back again just to make even more. He built mansions, sent the kids to elite schools, and eventually, his grandson became president. Now get this, FDR eventually signed laws to criminalize drugs in America. The same drugs his family got rich selling to China. That's not just hypocrisy, that's a billionaire shutting the door behind him. The Roosevelts weren't alone. John Jacob Astor, the richest man in America in the early 1800s. Astor didn't just build hotels and real estate, he built a global empire off Turkish opium. By 1840, he was worth what would equal $500 million today. Almost all traceable to opium. The Forbes family? Yes, as in Forbes magazine, the list of billionaires on rubber. Bennett Forbes and his brother were big-time opium traders. They used opium wealth to invest into railroads, and that railroad wealth went on to build the Forbes dynasty. Then we've got Samuel Russell, who founded Russell and Company. Not only did his opium profits make him rich, his cousin, William Russell, used that money to co-found the infamous secret society, Skull and Bones Cars at Yale, a breeding ground for U.S. presidents, CIA directors, Supreme Court justices. That's right. America's most elite college society was funded by drug money. Here's how the opium game worked. Britain grew the opium in India. American firms like Russell and Company bought the opium, shipped it on fast. American-built clipper ships anchored off the coast of China. Chinese smugglers rowed it ashore. Millions of Chinese people got addicted. Tons of silver flowed back to Boston and New York, and the American families got so rich, they reshaped the country. This was a massive illegal drug ring, with ships, agents, bribes, international networks, and no one in the U.S. stopped it, because America loved the money. Meanwhile, in China, by the 1830s, 10 million people were addicted. The Chinese economy was collapsing. Silver reserves were drained. Families were selling their children to buy opium. China begged the West to stop. And when they said no, China destroyed over 1,000 tons of opium. So what happened? The rich opium wars. Britain and later France and even the U.S. went to war to force China to accept more opium. They won. China lost Hong Kong, lost sovereignty, lost generations. This is part of what China calls the century of humiliation, and Americans started it too. So how come we don't hear about it? Simple. The families got too rich to fail. They built Harvard libraries, Yale halls, funded museums, donated to churches, hospitals and orphanages, and with every brick, the story got cleaner. Their kids and grandkids grew up never knowing the truth. Try asking Yale about Samuel Russell's opium business. Try asking Harvard, who really funded Cabot House. You won't hear the word opium even once. Think about it this way. If a billionaire today sold fentanyl to Mexico, if they killed millions, made billions, and then built Harvard Law School with it, we'd lose our minds. But that's exactly what America's founding billionaires did, and we've been told to admire them, to name our kids after them, to donate to their institutions, to pretend they were just clever businessmen. But they weren't. They were drug traffickers who became America's aristocracy. China knows this history. They teach it to every child, but in the US, we erase it, hide it, bury it under marble and ivy. It's time we asked, what else have we been told to forget? This is the story they don't want you to know. The story of how America's elite bought their power by destroying someone else's country. And if you want more truth like this, hit subscribe and stay curious, because history has a way of coming back, and the past is closer than it looks.